Alright, hi guys. So like always, I know it's been a while, but this time it really has been a while, and I haven't been very active. I haven't been replying to any comments. I haven't been replying to any emails, like nowhere, anything, and I have a good reason as to why. So, I don't even know where to start. So I guess today is like Thursday, the 14th of January already. Like we're already almost halfway through the month. It's insane. So anyway, to get right into it so this doesn't get too long, otherwise I think I'm going to be talking for an hour. Okay, where do I start? Good question. By the way, if the setup looks a little bit weird, this was like a last minute decision to make this video. I haven't had a lot of time really. By the way, and if I start coughing, that's kind of why I have been absent, is because I've been really sick. I kind of had like a mix of like a head cold slash flu slash I don't know what the hell it was. So yeah, if you hear me coughing, like excuse me, I'll try to cut it out as much as I can, but it'll be hard mid-sentence. So anyway, yeah, so this is kind of last minute video decision, otherwise it wouldn't have been until next week. So I figured I would take a few seconds just to jump on here quick and make a video, because my emails have been getting flooded by comments and emails themselves. So this is way overdue. So I remember that the last video was saying like that I'm confused about my temps and all that stuff, and I think they stayed up for another day and then they kind of went down a little bit, but by a little bit I literally mean like 0.0 like 1 or something. Like it was literally minimal. But my test lines didn't get any darker, so then I'm trying to get it all together. But like I said, this is like a last minute decision, so if my dates are all over the place, it's okay, just so you kind of get the whole story. So the Tuesday after Christmas, I don't know if I had that video up then or not, but anyway, I had to take my dad around town. I think I might have even talked about that. I think so. So anyway, I went for some blood work too. So my period was late, which it never ever is. I usually always have a 14-day luteal phase, and on day 15 my period shows up, and on day 14 I usually already have spotting knowing that it's coming. So that didn't happen, which is weird for me because every time that I did ovulate, which has only been like 5 or 6 cycles, even back like 2 years ago when I took the metformin, that one cycle that I did ovulate, I always have the 14-day luteal phase. So for me to have a late period is off, like really off, because that never happens. So that day I called my clinic. Now with my luck, always like in January, they're not there. Now I know that my doctor was there, but I like usually press like your number, whatever. Here we go. Sorry. Usually press your number, whatever, to get to your nurse so that you can talk to her, and then she checks with the doctor and stuff. So I pressed my nurse's number, and I got back through the receptionist. I was like, okay, so I went for blood work, like my period's late, like I just want to check my HCG and then also my levels for my progesterone. And she was like, oh, sorry. And then I realized it was her, and I'm like, I was trying to talk to my nurse, and she's like, oh, she's not here, so she's kind of doing it for her. And so she was like, what do you want? And I'm like, I didn't want to get my nurse in trouble because she usually tells me my HCG if there is anything, right? So I didn't want to say that, like, tell me my number, because I'm pretty sure she would have gotten in trouble. So I was just like, oh, I was just wondering if I went for blood work yesterday, if it got there yet and stuff. So she's like, hold on, let me check. So it wasn't there. I think that was like the Thursday. So she was like, she'll give me a call when it's in. I never heard back that day, which was kind of weird. I think it was just because she's doing it and she was doing a whole bunch of like receptionist stuff at the same time too. So I never heard back that day. And then that was like the date of my period. And I think that evening I went to the bathroom because I had some cramping and I started spotting. So my period was literally due like late a day or so. And then showed up, which still, like, it's not a huge concern, but it's still weird for me because that never happens. Also, with all the faint lines that I've had and the high temps, I was already pretty convinced that I was pregnant and that it was a chemical pregnancy. which obviously had me really down because I'm pretty in tune with my body now, that I know what's going on. Like if you like temp so many cycles, you kind of know what's normal for you and what isn't. And those temps weren't normal. They were normal for my BFP cycle that I had with my first miscarriage. So yeah, I was pretty convinced. And then the day after, my doctor called me and she was like, so we did get your blood work. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, I got my period. Like I didn't want to hear anything. And she was like, well, you did have some elevated HCG levels. So yeah, sorry, trying to keep it together. So yeah, we were pregnant again, and it must have, like, I literally must have been pregnant for like a day or two, and then it went away again. So yeah, that past cycle has been like really hard, just because we did everything right. We did everything the way that we did with my like cycle that I conceived. And I'm starting to wonder if it's the pre-seed. I'm starting to wonder if it's the meds that Mad's taken. I'm like, I don't know. I'm really confused as to why it keeps happening. And this time around it happened even faster. Now I know that they're common and stuff. I'm going to start referring to it as a miscarriage too, because that's what it is. It's an early miscarriage. Chemical pregnancy to me just sounds like we're trying to experiment and something went wrong. You know what I mean? So yes, I lost another baby, obviously. I can see, obviously, that this one has been as hard on us just because it wasn't like we had an ultrasound. It wasn't like we knew for sure. It was more of like I had a feeling that I was. And you obviously don't get as attached as quickly anyway, but it's just the way that things happen. Like I already knew, and then my period showed up and it just kind of confirmed what I thought was going to happen, since the lines weren't getting any darker and people were saying they can see them, they can't see them. Like it was a horrible back and forth. So at least I guess I got an answer, but obviously that was not the answer that we had hoped for. So that was that. So then I got my period like last week Thursday on my mom's birthday. So we did some running around that day. I haven't told anybody because it's not like the baby didn't matter. Obviously it did, and obviously I cried a lot, and I still do, because it is my second loss now, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna have any kids. With this happening now, like my chances are literally so low of ever conceiving a healthy child that things are just so hard that you literally cry about everything, not just about that child anymore or a previous child. It's just you cry about the fact that I don't have any living children, and this is my second miscarriage, and this one happened even faster than the first one. So things aren't looking too well for us to keep having our hopes too high, I guess. After this cycle, we sat down a couple of nights and like we talked a lot. Just a matter of, do we keep trying or do we just give up? And we were both at the point where we really just want to give up, because it just hurts too much, and the things that are happening, and it's not like a second loss, obviously, like, and it's not that I would have preferred that kind of a loss over the one I had, but I'm like, we were both just thinking, like, if things were supposed to be getting better, wouldn't that mean that like I would have kept this pregnancy longer and then lost it later on? Like something like that, if something were to go wrong, like why did it happen sooner than the one before? It's like we're going backwards instead of towards the goal that we want to go to. So yeah, it's been a really hard and emotional roller coaster. Plus, like I said last time too, with all the stuff that's going on regarding my healthcare, I did check like waiting times right now, and they seem to be picking up. So we took that into consideration, and the fact that we still have, I think, like 4 months worth of Femera. So I think my the fertility clinic isn't until March sometime too. So I'm not going to reschedule that appointment. If it should work out with my healthcare that I can go, then it's meant to be, and if it isn't, then it isn't. I think we're at the point right now we're taking it month by month. As of right now, as we're standing, this will be our last month trying, just because there isn't much more that we can do, right? Like, just because like I'm ovulating now, everything is working out the way it's supposed to. Matt is still awesome as before, and quite frankly, with me not being able to work thanks to the government and all that fun stuff, we're not in a position that we can afford like IUI or IVF. And even with those, I'm like, what's the point? Like, how is that going to help me stay pregnant? Really, it's just to get you pregnant. And I obviously don't seem to be having such a huge problem getting pregnant anymore thanks to the Femera, but it's just a matter of staying pregnant. Sorry, phone call, so if you hear Bailey barking, it's because the answering machine went on and stuff, and I didn't want to get up and answer because all of this is messed up again. So yeah, where was I? So it's like not a matter of me getting pregnant, because that happens fine now, like every 2-ish months. It is a matter of, sorry, just checking. It is now a matter of keeping me pregnant, and honestly, there isn't a whole lot that can keep me pregnant. Yes, I know there's like things like progesterone. Some women have to take like injections and stuff, but I never got to be pregnant long enough to even figure anything out that I would need. And as far as the first miscarriage, the big one, I guess, my progesterone levels were fine according to my doctor. So I haven't really talked to her about anything of this. Like, she just kind of told me what it was and like asked that it was up to us if we wanted to keep trying. The thing with her too, right, is she's like just an OBGYN, so she's not right into the fertility, hence why she just gave us 6 months worth of Femera, and then in that 6 months she was hoping for the referral to the fertility clinic, which right now I kind of wish that I would have kept the appointment of January, just because I guess I thought it was easier to stay pregnant or become pregnant again and have a healthy pregnancy. Honestly, I don't know. We're really at a point right now where we're just taking it day by day. Yes, I did order some more OPKs. I'm going to start temping probably tomorrow. I'll probably start OPKs this weekend-ish too. Because I've never gotten this far of a third cycle on Femera. I don't know if that means earlier ovulation, later ovulation. I just don't want to miss it if it happens earlier. So I could be expecting it today, but I don't think from going like cycle day 18 ovulation to go on cycle day like 8 is really realistic. But you never know. But if that happens, then we already missed it anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit earlier ovulation, just because my months are kind of dragging on as it is. Why I haven't updated you guys right away is obviously because we needed some time to figure out what we wanted to do. And second of all, I got really sick. I guess I got whatever Matt had, and I started with like a scratchy throat and cough. I think that was like Friday. Then I felt fine Saturday, and then Sunday just hit me really bad. Like, we were home and I just felt like crap when I got up. Like, I had a fever, then it would go away and I would feel fine, and then in the afternoon, evening, I was like nauseous and sick, and it was just not a good time because I had the cold flu, plus I had my period, aka miscarriage again. So I was a mess, and I still am a mess, hence why I look like this. Like, period is already breakouts enough, but adding everything else into it did not help. So obviously I didn't want to be on camera looking like that, and it still took a lot of convincing with this guy to come on camera and post this on the internet for whoever to see. But in the end, it is still my diary, and this is what I'm going through. So if this is what I kind of look like, then that's what I look like. And once again, I've had a lot of people be like, wow, for somebody who's so sad, like, you're joking around a lot. I want to say that my first miscarriage changed me a lot. As far as I'd rather joke about it than like be serious and just cry all the time. It is harder for me to cry because I literally cried for weeks and weeks after that. So I don't cry out of just anywhere anymore, and I'm trying to be more like just shut off on emotions as it is. So I'd rather joke than be mad or sad or whatever it may be. That's just my way of doing things right now. This is how I've changed since my miscarriage, especially now with the second one. It's definitely not easy to go through, especially like I said, when things happen faster rather than later. Obviously, like I said, I would have rather had this than a longer one, but in your mind you're kind of like I said, it should have went longer rather than even shorter. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll take it day by day for this cycle. I don't know if we're gonna keep trying after, because like if it should happen again, really I don't think there is much for anyone to do to keep me pregnant, really. I know that like IUI and IVF is for people struggling to get pregnant, so I don't know if there is anything that can be done. If you guys know of anything that you've heard to keep me pregnant, I would appreciate some insight, because right now I'm just like, meh, if we get pregnant again, I know I'm gonna lose it again anyway, so why keep putting myself through it all, right? As far as like surrogacy or adoption, we talked about that too. In regards to adoption, like both of them are like really expensive, obviously. It's a lot of money up front, plus all the things that come with a kid as it is. So adoption for us is not just because of the money wise out of the question, for a while anyway. But also, like you guys know, I'm not a citizen yet, so I'm guessing there would be some issues regarding me having a German passport, my husband having a Canadian passport. So we're kind of like in two different worlds if we were supposed to, or like God forbid, get a divorce someday. What's gonna happen to our kid, right? So I can't see an adoption agency going for a couple that doesn't even like legitimately live in the same country. And for me to even get a Canadian passport, I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that. So I don't know, I guess we'll see. But we're not against adoption anyway. We would love to if we can have kids of our own, but I think it's just from us being from two different nationalities that it would be harder for us to even be considered. As far as surrogacy, honestly haven't looked into it quite as much, just because same thing, like it is a lot of money to pay somebody to be like do your job for 9 months, right? So those two wouldn't be an option until a long way down the road, to be able to say we can afford that, plus all the costs related to kids, right? So I don't know, I'm just kind of blabbing on because I don't know what else to tell you guys. This is kind of a hard vlog to post and probably to edit, just because it is such a messy situation, and definitely not as cheerful as usual. So anyway, we'll see. We'll take this cycle day by day, and you never know, I guess we might be able to get her a little miracle this month, or we won't. Honestly, we don't have our hopes up too high anymore just because of this happening now. So I know there's a bunch of people out there that kept having miscarriages for no reason and they were fine too. It's just, for us personally, as a mentality thing, you just, like, it's hard to go through that many losses. So, yeah, but I guess I'll update you guys probably next week when I get closer to ovulation, just to see what my OPKs and stuff are doing. I think with it being like cycle day 8 or 9 today, I think I'm going to ovulate towards like next weekend or something like that. So, yeah, I'll update you guys next week sometime and let you know what's going on temp wise and OPK wise and everything else wise. Also, another video that I'm going to be doing next week, because I missed it on Tuesday, because Tuesday was my 1-year anniversary of YouTubing and starting my channel. So for those of you that have been with me since like literally day 1, January of 2015, thank you guys for sticking around, and welcome to everybody that has joined through during that. I know I've got a bunch of you guys that just joined in the new year, so thank you guys for subscribing and watching my videos. I remember I did like the TTC tag way back in that January video just as like an introduction. So I think it will be fun to do it again this year, just to see if, or like how my answers have changed or my views have changed on stuff. So I'm planning to do that next week too. I still have that Q&A video coming up sometime too, but with everything going on right now, things have just gone a little bit crazy. So one day at a time. Anyway, thank you guys for your continued support, and I love getting all of those messages, checking in on me. I appreciate that so many of you guys care that much that you notice when I'm gone. So I love you guys, and thank you for staying with me and with us, and for all the prayers and thoughts and everything else. This is long again. I'm so sorry, guys. So I'll see you guys next week, and thank you guys again. Bye, guys.